In today's video, I'm going to share with you my 5 books that I recommend for yoga teacher training. Before we dive into that, and in case you're new around here, I'm Shannon Caldwell, founder of Purple Lotus Yoga, where I help women of all sizes and ages become standout yoga teachers. For the best tips and advice on teaching yoga and deepening your yoga practice, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get my latest updates. The first book is The Heart of Yoga. You can see that my copy is well used and well loved. This has been the backbone of yoga teacher training since day one. Nearly 20 years ago, when I was putting together all of the information for yoga teacher training, there was no Amazon or any way to order books online. So I went to my local bookstore and scoured the shelves and found this one book on yoga. And it was like on a bottom shelf in a corner tucked away. This was before you could walk into a bookstore and they would have shelves and shelves of yoga books. So this was the very first yoga book that I read and found. And as I went through it, I absolutely loved it. And it's The Heart of Yoga by TKV Desikachar. The second book that I use in teacher training is Anatomy of a Spirit by Carolyn Myss. And this is an introduction into the energy of your body. And then she goes into details on the 7 chakras. Again, this is another book that I've had almost from day one for yoga teacher training. A more recent addition, like 10 years ago, is the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And this was introduced to me from another participant, and I read it and absolutely loved it and said, yes, this needs to be a part of yoga teacher training. It's 4 simple statements that really can have life-changing effects. And everybody who has read the 4 Agreements through teacher training, they all agree that it's just a way of changing up your perspective that then kind of has far-reaching effects in all the parts of your life. The last book that I do in yoga teacher training, or recommend in yoga teacher training, is The Key Muscles of Hatha Yoga by Ray Long. And this I use as more of a reference. So again, it's another one that's got full color photographs. And as you go through there, you can see in different postures what muscles are being activated. It talks about in the back, it does a little bit on chakras so that you can see what's being innervated, which chakra is being innervated based on what posture that you're doing. This book I want to recommend is Teaching Yoga by Becca Hughes. Becca is a former student of mine. She went through yoga teacher training with me many moons ago, like the first or second year I was doing teacher training. She drove down from Oklahoma to Texas because there wasn't any teacher training in her area. And she studied with me for 6 months. She also did her advanced training with me too. But she went back to Oklahoma and started her own teacher training program. And just within the last year, she published this book. And it's a really great dive into sequencing, which if you've followed me at all, you know how much I love sequencing, how important it is to me. Why I believe it's important. And she just goes a little bit deeper into sequencing, and she gives you some really great tips and ways to put sequences together. So, all right, the last little bit that I want to cover in books that I used to create yoga teacher training. One of them I know for sure is not available for purchase anymore. They don't print it anymore. The first one is Dancing on the Body of Light by Donna Holloman. This book gave me the foundation for mountain. So if you go through teacher training with me, if you go back through other blogs, you'll see that I've dedicated time to talking about mountain posture and how important it is. And the reason that I have that is because of this book. She uses 7 pages. And I don't know if you can see that. Big pages, little type. And she uses 7 pages to talk about the importance of alignment in mountain pose. Don't go looking for this book because it's not in print anymore. This book was another book that I used to help bring teacher training together, and this is the Yoga Handbook by Stephanie Keach. I have no idea if it's still available or if it's been updated or anything like that. You can just go on Amazon and look for it. Those are my top favorite yoga books that I have used for years and years and years. I would love to hear from you. What is a favorite yoga reference book that you have used or come across?